Hello, my name is Eraldo Martino. I am from the city of Padua in Italy. They are Roman Catholics. I was always a man dedicated to prayers until one day I prayed to God that He would show me whether what I was following is His true word. He is faithful and He heard my prayers. He revealed things that I would never know or dream of knowing. I converted after the visions that Jesus showed me, and today, I am no longer in the Catholic Church. I am in an evangelical church. I will report my visions which were given to me in the 1980. Jesus showed me a vision, and in that vision, I saw a colorful church. I asked, what does that mean? Jesus told me, look inside this church. I looked and saw a hall with flashing colored lights, so I said, it is a dance hall and not a church. I have never seen a church like this. Jesus answered me, in 2 decades' time, many churches on earth will be like this church. Many churches will be contaminated with Babylon. The diversity of colors means there will be different church models. The colored lights mean that worldliness has entered it. They will mix my right things with the profane things of this world. Revelation 3 verse 15 to 16 say, I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. How would you were cold or hot? 16 So then, because you are lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. In another vision, Jesus showed me a pregnant prostitute. She was in labor. Afterward, I saw a church full of gold. I asked, what does that mean? Jesus answered, the prostitute is the church of precious stones. The prostitute is also the church that loves the images, statues and anointed objects. These anointed objects do not heal or deliver or set people free. Their precious stones mean that their doctrines are earthly and are the gospel of physical and financial well-being. What this church offers is everything earthly and worldly. But it does not offer what I have, and does not give my salvation. This church does not teach the renunciation of the pleasures of the world. The child that will be born of the prostitute will be an army, and they are the evangelical churches that will take her idolatry and impose her human precepts and her doctrines of the flesh. I used to go to the Catholic Church and I realized that the description of the vision corresponds to her, and many evangelical churches are teaching the worldly and prosperity gospel and are not giving the true teachings of Jesus Christ. In that vision I looked at the clouds and saw a giant demon. He was sitting on a throne that was above the clouds. He wasn't just any demon. He was a principality. I asked, who is this demon? Jesus told me, it is the principality of the world economy. Mammon is the demon that controls all the finances of the world banks and the big companies that are part of the stock exchanges. This demon causes the economy of a country to fall and of others to go up. He is responsible for the financial crises in the world. He caused hunger in the land. I saw many people died of diseases due to lack of money. Jesus said, this principality wants to curse all my servants' money. When my servants set their hearts on material things, this will hinder my blessings. But if they give offerings, I will bless them for the offerings. Every offering is to help my work and the needy. Warn the churches not to teach according to the doctrine of Mammon. In another vision I saw a brightening church, and from inside it came out a small bright church and a stained church. I asked, what does that? Jesus answered, the white church you saw is my church that preaches my word as it is, and the small church that comes out of the big one represents my servants that come out of their churches and take the word of truth. There are many I take from their churches and raise as pastors to form new ministries, thus spreading my gospel. The stained churches are the rebels who rise up against me, and they do not obey my word. They make divisions within the church and persecute those who preach my word. These rebellious people leave their ministries and open new congregations without my command, despite knowing my word. They do not want to obey and teach my word. They teach self-centered ideologies and make their own laws. Jesus told me, corrupt churches can come out from a holy church because of strife and disagreements. Jesus led me to read the passage from Genesis 25 verse 21 to 26. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bore them. In another vision, I saw a black hole opening on the floor and a black church was coming out of it. I was scared and asked, What church is that? This is the worst church of all that I had seen. Jesus replied, This church was lying here in hell. It is evil, and this church, the church of Satan, will go up to earth where my word is not written in my name. This church comes to contaminate all the churches of the earth with all the addictions that you saw in the previous visions. Its diabolical doctrine will turn these addictions as pleasant to the ears in many churches of the earth. This evil church will vomit its teachings to destroy the true churches. This is the bride of Satan that comes to the earth to play its role to kill the faith and destroy my doctrine. Whoever follows their evil doctrines will not make it to heaven. The rebellious churches that will not follow my word, that follow human precepts and doctrines of demons, will not make it to heaven. According to 2 Corinthians 11 verse 13, for such ones are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. Did not even Satan marvelously transform himself into an angel of light? Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also transform themselves as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. In the last vision, I saw growers of grapes. Each were harvesting grapes from different plantations and the making wines. The first saw that none of the grapes were ripe and went away without harvesting any grapes because they were still green and unripe. Jesus said, Remember that vision of the church full of precious stones and other evangelical churches. They only improve the financial lives of those congregations, but they do not renounce the attachments of the flesh and obey me. Most of these crops will be lost because the gospel of wealth will prevent them from going to heaven. They will get stuck in the pleasures of life. The second wine grower harvested 70% of the ripe grapes. The Lord said, Remember the vision of the white church that preaches my word. The majority will make it to heaven because they are preaching the truth and are prepared. The third harvested 30% of the vines but had no roots of support and were fallen on the ground and died. They did not produce any grape. Jesus said, Remember the rebels, the Danish church, and left the white church and founded their ministries. They preached both my word and their own doctrines. In that vineyard a part of them follows my word and the other part follows the self-centered gospel. Thus, they had 30% harvest, those who follow my word. But as they were in a tarnished church, they could not grow and died spiritually and did not make it to heaven. Revelation 3 verse 17 Because you say, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and do not know that you are wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked, I counsel you to buy from me gold purified by fire, so that you may be rich, and white clothing, so that you may be clothed, and so that the shame of your nakedness does not appear. And anoint your eyes with eye salve, so that you may see. Later in another vision I saw church services, but they were not serving Jesus. Churches with the appearance of evangelicals spoke of Jesus but did not preach salvation and sanctification. They hid the treasures of the word. In exchange, they taught the oriental doctrines of yoga, the power of the mind, and they operated by hidden magical powers. There were extraordinary cures and miracles through plants, witchcraft and sacred objects. I asked, Lord, why do these evangelical churches that preach your name but doing these dark works that do not glorify your name? Jesus replied, Remember the vision of the church that went up from hell to the land? This is what you are seeing. These dark deeds have contaminated many churches that have preached my word to adopt their practices of witchcraft. They cultivated these doctrines of hell and will win many souls to hell. During those times, I will have no harvest because they belong to Satan. Their deeds did not originate from the source of my word. I saw in the vision how wizards and Satanists take theology courses, and open churches by saying they are evangelical. I saw pastors making pacts of fidelity with the demons. I asked, Lord, what does that mean? He said, these pacts are to invert my churches. I asked, can they fight the truth? Jesus said, people don't get saved if the people are taught the practice of the occult. Tell my church not to blaspheme against the churches. Not everything is from the devil and not everything is from the Holy Spirit. Tell my holy people to pray for them and to ask for the gift of discernment so they can know and discern the workings of my Holy Spirit and the workings of the spirit of deceit. Translated from Eraldo Martino video.